SoulTopia TV. This is Michelle Welch with
Roger Welch and Matt Stoker over there.
Yeah.
Hello, hello.
Hi everyone. Thanks for being with us. We always start off just chit-chatting a little and ask Roger, is there any, I don't watch the news because I make predictions or people ask me to future tell. So I don't make predictions. I mean, I don't watch TV, right?
No.
And when I said that, I really
she
don't.
doesn't watch it, so it's like you tell her something, she's like, what? Really? That happened? Hey, Matt, did you see, though, Matt, where Iran was actually going to go and claim Antarctica?
No, I hadn't seen that.
Yeah. But what was funny is that Michelle, like in December, was predicting that there would be a race to Antarctica.
It's in writing. It was on ABC News. I predicted.
Yep. And then
I
saw last week that they were actually, Iran was going to Antarctica to plant their flag.
That's very interesting.
Y'all want to know why?
Why?
And I didn't know this, but apparently the collective knew and told me, because everybody laughed at that and the writer's strike, which I got right. Mm-hmm. It is a race for water. Water is going to become, and we're talking about currency tonight. We're talking about show me the money. And the new, within probably 10 years, I would say, it's a big deal.
To secure fresh water.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know why. And then he's like, he's always like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, you make some predictions. Yeah, sometimes you get it right. And then he's like, we're just sitting there, and he goes, have you watched the news? And I'm like, no, what happened now? When he started the story, I thought he was like, don't say anything controversial about Iran or anything. And so I didn't even hear the whole story. And so he'll tell me.
Yeah.
But that's also how I found out I didn't predict the Super Bowl right. I predicted the Ravens and 49ers. But I have to say that I didn't do the Chiefs for a personal reason, and it had nothing to do with Taylor Swift. I just couldn't do it. So that's why.
Right.
I didn't predict. A little bit of my bias came into that. But anyway, yeah. So I asked you, what is anything that we can actually talk about on the air that's going on in the world that is not controversial, or someone won't think is controversial?
Because everything is controversial.
Matt, you got anything?
I don't know that I do. Although I'm the same way. Like, I've kind of fallen out of keeping up with the news too much now that I don't really cover it anymore. And it's not. I mean, I care about the things that matter, but I don't keep up with day-to-day news as much.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a reason. I also have a reason that I've been taking a break from social media, and I didn't announce I'm taking a break from social media like a lot of people do. I'm taking a break from social media, and then you're like, I thought you were taking a break from social media. But I just have been. So if I haven't gotten back to any, I think for a month.
You still got your book ready. You got to get your book ready.
I've got my book due.
So you need to focus,
And Erica has been helping me a lot with that. Nikki helped me. Dawn helped me. So I've had a lot of help. But speaking of that, I read some of my first book today. So I actually read some of this one, The Magic of Connection, which is my first book. And I said to Roger, what did I say?
This is actually a really good book.
Did you not feel that way after you put it out? Or
I actually do feel it's a very, very good book.
you just need the time away from it?
I think I need more people to buy it.
Well, that would help.
I think that I really didn't, Matt, go into it thinking, I am an author and I want to be a bestseller, but who wouldn't? I mean, if you really do believe in something you write, and I've had a lot of people tell me that they will literally come up to me and say, I'm not kidding, this book is changing my life. Yeah. And when I started reading it today, I was like, this book could change my life. If I just do a few of the things that are in the book.
You would listen to yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if I would.
Dang, this person really gets me.
If I would, my feelings, it's about empathy and your feelings, but it's also about being connected. So it has to do with your prosperity and abundance. So we picked this topic tonight, and I was like, we just did this. But what we did was prosperity and abundance, and we talked a lot about that abundance might not be equivalent to money. Tonight, we're going to talk about money and currency and paying for things, and that's the difference, and we're going to try to stick to that, right? As opposed to spending the whole show distinguishing that it doesn't have to be about money. Name drop coming, but he made an impact on me when he was on the show, and I understand why Matthew McConaughey is kind of a big deal besides just he's got a lot of substance. And when for one thing, he told me this book was before its time, The Magic of Connection. He actually read it. And then also, he made the comment about going in the stores, Matt, you probably remember, in New Orleans. And he's like, what I always noticed was that there's all these things, but the ones that were empty were the ones for money.
Yep.
Right.
For money. And that he made that statement, I believe, on the show.
Yeah,
Not
he
we
did
talked
it
off
on,
the
we
air.
talked about it on the show.
And we talked about that and why, there's, and the readings usually are, love, money, if you're giving readings, and there's another one. It's not really health. Maybe during the older somebody gets, there may be, it's kind of jobs.
Jobs, employment,
Love, money.
stability.
Yeah, which is money. I mean,
Yeah.
career is money. I have to imagine that's what most people come in here looking for, come into the store looking for, is something to help with either their job or to make more money, right? Like probably far and away, I would think.
That's exactly it.
I would
they
say-
come in and they're looking for those 3 things basically 90% of the time.
Yeah.
So, and there's spirituality to it too, but that covers all of it too, right? I mean, depending on what that word means to you. So in Magic of Connection, I do at the beginning, I started this book off, and I remember thinking, I'm really starting this book off really boring. But it is a little because it's going up, but people would always talk about the laws of the universe to me. And I'd be like, ugh, head roll. I mean, I like to learn, but it's like, come on, can you just say it to me like 2 sentences so I can get it, right?
Yep.
So what we're talking about tonight is a little bit the law of attraction. So, and I did a whole speech on this too for Tony, for the World Divination Association, that before you get to the law of attraction, that's like in the middle of the kind of the progressions of the law of the universe. Not that they go in order necessarily, but I think I list 14, and in my book in chapter 1, and it is the law of attraction is number 7, and that's came from primarily a movie. The movie was first, and then there were 4 books of The Secret, and we've talked about that before. And a lot of people came out saying, it didn't work for me. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Well, I did a whole thing. Y'all can watch it on WDA if you want. About why manifestation doesn't always work, right?
All right.
And so Matt Orwin was on here, and we talked a little bit when we were talking about Matt on, and we talked about intention and all that kind of stuff. So in for the first chapter of the book, I just want to say one thing. So you go through 6 things, including that we're all one, the connectedness and all that, and conservation of energy, vibration, and you get to the law of attraction. And what I said on that is in 1 sentence, believe it or not. I talk short. I don't write short. Talk long. Right? Okay, the law of attraction teaches us that like attracts like, right? Or regarding energy frequencies. But it's also important to know that there's a law of inspired action, which means we enthusiastically seek that which awakens or stirs something within us. The word action is contained within the word attraction. We can attempt to manifest something such as the ideal job or money. I added that. But we must put some effort behind it instead of just sitting on our couches waiting for things to happen. That's the kind of tying those 2 together in a nutshell. What do you think about that?
That's pretty cool.
And it's kind of what we were talking about with Matt. It's not all intention. Matt Orwin, it's not all intention. Because, and that's what I wanted to preface this with. I think intention is important. I do think you can use different tools for intention. So we're not going to we'll a little bit cover crystals tonight, but I have a class coming up. And Roger has a spell class for attracting money.
That's going to be a candle magic class, but it's going to be a couple of different, other than just attracting money, but other ways of attracting money using candles too.
Okay.
Yep.
And so my
Security.
crystal to learning some of the crystals, which we have, and I have a lot of them on tonight, and we have some in front of you, and we'll show you. But this is really more about the money. So I looked something up. I was curious, Matt and Roger, because I don't watch the news, but I do learn. I love to learn, and I love to kind of corny. I said, Roger, am I the only one that's going to find this interesting? So I looked up, I said, why is green the color. So if you think growth, you think fertility, growth, money.
Yep.
Everybody says green.
Yeah.
I said, is that just because it's the United States? And we were going, nah. He goes, yeah, a lot of people use, Roger's like, yeah, a lot of people use green.
Yeah.
And I was like, but I think maybe it would be the gold standard. So you could use gold or yellow, which people talk about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I looked it up about currency. And they have
Why is green
is green.
symbol? Oh, again.
Yeah, and is it the most?
Yeah.
And the answer is yes. They even did the Pantone colors that are used. The DNA of banknotes. So this is European, but they studied every country in the world. And they tell you how they studied. And this is money.co.uk. The biggest color used on banknotes, as they call it, right, is green at 23%.
Okay.
What do you think's next?
I would think maybe black or some sort of like a darker color like that.
Okay.
Blue.
I told you in the car, and I just said it.
I know, it's gray.
Okay, well that's not.
It's gray.
It's
gray.
yellow.
Yellow, oh yeah.
Okay, so yellow, and the third one, you just give it away, is sort of where you were headed. There
Okay.
is a brown, though. So it goes, just to tell y'all, because I thought brown, 6%.
Okay.
And because color ties into when you take the candle class or you take you're going to notice with the crystals, kind of ties in. So I thought that, why are we always seeing green or gold? Brown's 6%, I'll go in order. 7%, the order they went in, is red. 6% brown, 4% oranges, 18% yellow, 23 green, 14 blues, 10 violets, and 17% grays,
Okay.
which would probably be that darker color or that brown, but gray. And they didn't like distinguish as that gray silver or whatever it is. And these are like on what I would call a dollar bill, right?
Yeah.
So the paper money. They also said, which I have predicted, but it doesn't take a psychic, that, what was it? Only
1 in 10
1 in 10 transactions now
is cash.
is cash. And they expect it to be gone by the end of the decade.
That, I mean, even 1 in 10 sounds high to me. I can't think of, unless I was given cash for a holiday or a birthday or something like that, I can't think of when I've had cash
Right.
in my hand to go spend it. I've certainly taken money out of an ATM and
Right.
transferred it to another bank or something like that, but in terms of going in to spend it in a store, I can't think of the last time I really had that often.
Yeah, and during COVID, they weren't accepting it. I remember
That's right.
going down,
Right.
you going into stores, and especially Bishop, there was
Yeah.
one lady, like literally, she was like, "Don't bring cash in my store," and it was. I thought then, okay, it's about to just they're gonna get rid of some of it, but. So that was interesting, and why does that matter? Because that means with what we're talking about tonight with money, it's not a lot of the things that we used to do intentional for Roger, who actually you do a lot of spells. It would be more, I would think, people talk about bringing in money. They don't talk as much, or we should, I guess, put it this way, talk about credit and that kind of
Yeah.
prosperity and your job. So what do y'all do with that?
Yeah, and if you think, I mean, it shouldn't be just like I'm going to do this spell for money. It should be, success, stability, things like that. And we talk a lot about people when you're manifesting. You're speaking it into existence, or you're actually putting those words in with your spell. You shouldn't be like you're blowing the candles out on your birthday cake and wishing for it. You should actually be speaking about it as it's already happening.
Right.
And that is as a truth in the world, in the universe, is a truth happening right now for you.
And I used to struggle with that because I thought that was lying. I was like, okay, I can sit here and say, I'm a millionaire as many times as I want to say it, but I would think that, and or whatever you want to insert. I have this much money in savings, percentage-wise, or whatever, or I can pay my bills. I mean, I have wherever we're at, and if it wasn't true, I couldn't. I thought it was bogus. I'm just being really honest, and so finally, kind of where I landed on that was I thought, but if I sit there every second and say, I'm broke, I can't do anything, I can't,
And you
then
won't.
that is what will happen. So I feel like in this is even weirder, like parallel universe, we are in that state. So now I find it easier to speak it into existence, and I do speak things we know into existence. Sometimes that aren't, you think it enough and you say it many times, and it's not. It happens.
Yep.
But I don't think I'm the only one maybe that had trouble with affirmations.
No, and I've thought about that too, and I wonder what your opinion is on this. If do you feel like whenever you do that, even when you're starting, do you need to really try to get into a place where you actually believe it, or is just the process of doing it every single day eventually get you into the mindset of this is happening, or this will happen, or whatever? Or do you have to be from the beginning, say, I got to put almost like meditation, where it's like, I've got to put all that stuff away and just really try to believe this from day one?
Well, that's the $1 million question.
Yeah.
So belief, and I'm glad you asked that question, because we talk about intention, magic, doing the work, the inspired action, the intention of it. What about the belief in it?
I think you definitely have to have the belief into it, because you have to believe that this is actually going to work. Because if you believe it's not going to work 100%, it is not going to work.
Okay, I sort of disagree, and I hate to say this, but
Okay.
I believe in fake it till you make it a little bit, because otherwise I never would have started doing affirmations. I would have said, I can't sit here and tell you I feel I'm on from a 0, what stupid scale I have to go when I go get my kidneys. I'm from a 1 to 10. How do you feel? I don't know. How do I brainstorm over that for like hours, right?
Yeah.
What number? I don't want to lie, and I have allergies, and I'm saying it's a 10 because that's what people do, and I have 3 kidney stones, and I'm saying it's a 5. So, for me, I had to sort of fake it till you make it. I don't know that even if you come and if you get energy work done, do you have to believe in it to work? I don't think you do.
I feel like you're just by doing it, you're believing in it at least somewhat,
To take a step in it.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Right.
So, I guess there is that part of it.
I'm not, if we had that answer, we'd have all the answers, right? Because for me, it has always been a struggle. I can argue you've got to have this faith and you need to believe, but at the same time, I like what Matt said.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to be argumentative or contrarian about it. I'm really saying I've struggled with it. I used to literally would not do affirmations. I absolutely wouldn't do them, but I manifested a lot of really good things in my life.
Yeah.
So I'm not, this is something that I think is very important to talk about, because I know I'm not the only one. And I'm not the only one who questions, do I have to believe in this 100%? I don't always know. Neil does great energy work, and I don't have a freaking clue what that man is doing, but I leave, and
But
I guess I have a belief
There's a difference.
in him.
That's right. You believe. You literally just said that.
I did, actually.
Yeah.
I did.
So you do, even though you don't know what he's doing, you do believe that he's making you feel
He's
better.
capable of doing it.
Yeah, you
right?
believe
there's
he's
some
making you feel
belief.
better.
That's a good point. There's some belief in something. I'm just not sure. And I've had actually a good friend
See?
of mine say, I don't know how you know what you know. I said on this, right? And she said, now, I don't know that I want to know, but for some reason you kind of know.
Yeah.
There we go. Little engine that could, faked it till he made it, but he believed he could. There you go.
Yeah,
Thanks,
see?
Leslie. That summed it up. Thank you. That's exactly right. But I ask that question too a lot. Because I will say it goes back to church for me, because I was constantly told you have to have the faith, if even the faith of a mustard seed. That's actually scripture, and I think it's in Proverbs or Psalms. And I just was always constantly going, do I really believe? Do I really believe? And I really would get hung up on that. But maybe I'm the only one who overthinks it. But clearly Matt thought about it too.
So Matt, you're an overthinker like Michelle.
Yeah, I could see
Okay.
that. Well, I do think it's hard, especially if you've never done this stuff before, to get to that point where you're believing someone who says, just go and look in the mirror and say these 4 things every single day, and then it'll eventually come. And again, I think probably for some people you just have to hit a point to where you've tried everything else and that you might as well try that. But I do think it might be hard if you're not as plugged into this world to take that step and say, okay, I'm going to try this. I'm going to really put effort into this. I'm going to do this every single day, even if it's a year, and see what happens.
I thank you, and that's all I'm trying to say. And I think it's a good discussion to have, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
And I think those who can just believe things more easily, life is easier. It's very hard for me when you go to like Al-Anon or what is that for codependency and stuff like that meetings, and they'd be like, fake it till you make it, just pick a higher power, just believe in whatever, and I'd be like, yeah, that doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
I have to really, if I'm told I have to believe in something, I have to believe in it. So yeah, Little Engine, good. Thanks, Leslie.
Well, I mean, because I came out of a sales background, and we always told people, you can teach and teach and teach and teach, but it's what gets stuck in your head, and you just tell people, just kind of go out there, you know what you're doing. Anything that you hear is you're not sure about, just try to work through it.
Yeah.
And fake it till you make it.
A little. And I thought about it on the way over here, and I will just say it. She follows us. I tutored a lot of kids in test prep for years, and I really, really thought very highly of Zig Ziglar, and I was in his Sunday school class, and I would see him out with his wife. I don't know how many years ago he passed, but I tutored his granddaughter, and she follows us and everything. And I learned a lot from Zig Ziglar too about it. There is some the prosperity thinking, but for me I'm not sure about all that comes from people who kind of abuse it too, like evangelical kind of preachers who this prosperity thinking, and you're just going to make all this money overnight. And then I think that's what The Secret did, is they actually got people who are already successful. And then she made, off those books of us trying to learn how to manifest things, she made millions or billions, and good for her. But there were a lot who left feeling empty. So let's talk about how we can do it, and how you bring some things we can do tangibly, maybe, to help with bringing money into our lives.
Okay.
That a good segue?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. So, I mean, we're not really going to do like the candles and stuff like that, or talk a lot about the crystals. We're going to talk a little bit about some of those things, just because, like Michelle said, this Saturday, Michelle has a crystal class for manifesting.
And I have on pyrite tonight, which is one.
Pyrite and
that?
moldavite.
And moldavite, this is pyrite and moldavite. It's actually for sale.
Yep.
And then we have some crystals here, pyrite, citrine, and we'll talk maybe a little, talk just a tiny about that.
Yep.
Okay.
So, and then in 2 weeks from Saturday, actually, I have a candle manifestation class, abundance class on candle magic. Okay.
Yeah.
But let's talk about I grabbed a few things here. The easiest thing to do, really, some of the easier things to do would be to just something you can carry with you, right?
Right.
Okay, wait.
Easy.
I got something. Wait.
I love show and tell time with Roger. This is why his classes are so popular.
Yep. Okay, here we go. Here's
fun.
one of the things. We sell these by each. Okay.
What are they?
Buckeyes.
Oh.
Yeah, so Buckeyes are good for divination, good luck for wealth spells, money and wealth spells. Okay.
And
And it's kind of like going back to setting that intention with it. You just kind of open it. You can actually just take the Buckeye. Looks just like, turn it over to the eye. There you go, the Buckeye.
what is a buckeye?
Yeah, so it's a seed from a tree.
Oh.
So you just take it, set your intentions with it, and you can carry it in your pocket. Your grandfather never carried these in your pocket?
I don't know. I'm just still thinking how that comes out of somebody's eye.
Okay, and
Now I know them as the chocolate and peanut butter
Yes.
treat.
Oh, they do, yeah.
It
They
rattles.
call, yeah,
Buckeyes.
It
they're
rattles.
called Buckeyes.
But
They look
it's-
exactly
it
like
looks just like
it's
that.
a seed. It's a seed.
yeah.
A seed of what?
Yeah, a Buckeye. From
Oh,
yeah,
not
Buckeye.
an oak tree.
Oh.
I'm
But anyway,
kidding,
my
I'm
grandfather
kidding.
used to carry them in his pocket. My grandfather used to carry these in his
Really?
pocket. Yeah.
Aw.
Of his overalls.
For
money.
money.
Yeah. Yeah. They also had the
Don't eat
horseshoes
it.
and everything. No, don't eat it. Do not eat
Don't
it.
carry the
Is there
other
any,
kind.
do you know any reason why those got associated with money? Is it,
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
That's homework. I'll look that up.
So that'll be Michelle's project
Okay.
to look that up and to
love that.
teach in her class on Saturday. So
Yeah,
if
I
you want to
love-
know why this got associated, Michelle will be telling that as part of her class Saturday.
And I love that because that's
So you
how I
have
do
that one
everything
so you
now.
remember to do that.
I will. We will give one to Matt too.
maybe somebody in the comments knows.
Yeah, they'll be good at
Chime in
doing
if
it.
you do.
Because that's how I believe in everything. Instead of just I like to know how the history of how it got associated with that, but I also don't just accept this crystal's good for it. I look
Yeah.
at like how it's formed, how it's made, or like animals characteristics, and that's how I teach people to learn instead of what somebody else necessarily tells
Yeah.
you.
Well, I think that's like I think that's the thing to remember with a lot of this stuff is that somebody didn't just decide someday that this crystal's good for this is good for this seed's good for this or whatever. It's from a long history of people
Thinking.
doing this for one reason or another, culturally. So yeah.
And good point on that too, because right, Roger, culturally there are some that even though there was no internet, there was no way to get the message from one continent to another, they would believe the same thing
Yeah, exactly.
about certain gems and things like that. And so that's kind of goes to that whole collective thing, and I find that really interesting. Okay,
That's right.
Buckeye.
Yep.
I know
Buckeyes.
now.
And you can
Okay.
carry those. Those are actually that one's
What football team's the Buckeyes? What college team?
It's Ohio State.
Ohio, yeah. Ohio
Okay.
State.
They have a lot of money.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the reason they have.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not the reason, but sure.
All right.
Okay, so another thing that you can do is bay leaves.
Yes, I like
Okay,
this.
so these are
It's
whole
easy.
bay leaves. If you cook with them in the kitchen, you can grab those too. We usually have them in little packs of like 5.
Or
Sometimes,
if you don't cook, it's fine.
if you don't cook, that's fine. Yeah. Sometimes when we get down to the bottom of the bay leaves, we try to get the really good bay leaves out of the big bag to repackage into 5 bay leaves and sell them. Because what people will do on the single bay leaves, you can take like this size, right?
So about how big is that?
This is about 1.5 inches. And so you can take a marker and you can write on it. And you can write something as abundant, like abundance or money, or you could even write money flows to me, something like that. Again, you're creating it to you. And these things burn great. So what you can do is you can take these, then once you write on it, hold it, set your intentions with it, and burn it. Let it just kind of smoke out and burn up.
So
Now,
is that good for the bay leaves? Is that for any kind of intention setting or specifically money?
it actually works really good for manifesting.
Just any.
So any type of manifesting, it works really good. You'll notice even here it says it's a multi-purpose herb. Okay, so it actually works for your wishes. Okay, manifesting,
Yes.
right? Place under your pillow for dream work. So you can put them under your pillows. I'm gonna put them under your pillow.
Look what Leslie said.
Yeah.
I'm interrupting you. Sorry. I just don't want it to go on.
Yeah, eyes of deers and brought luck. Yep.
Buckeyes look like the eyes of deers and whatever.
Brought luck.
And brought luck.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep. With clairvoyance and psychic abilities, also used for protection.
For bay leaves.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we sell them, like I said, in the store we do have them in little packs of like 4 or 5 in a pack. But then, like when we get down to some of it that's crushed up, we'll sell it, into bags. So you have more in case you're doing like candle magic, or what we're going to do in a minute was like a little bag,
Okay.
Griscos bag, mojo bags, things like that.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. What about the? You want to go ahead and start and show? How
Sure. So what we were talking about, it was actually talking about doing a like a mojo bag, Griscos bag, any of that. So you'll know this. I grabbed this. You can use a bag like we have these pre-made bags that you can literally put everything inside and pull it tight. Not a big deal. This one's like a 3x4 bag. You really don't need a bag that big. You can actually use a smaller one. The other thing you can do, which is even handier, is if you have just some green fabric or even gold fabric, because we're talking about abundance, works really great. Now, Matt, I know you're going to be jealous because this was a like scarf poncho. See the hole through there?
Yeah.
You stick it on, you can wear it,
That's
look
very
really
cool.
stylish like this, right? But we're going to take this and we're going to use it.
I
the
think that
fabric.
was mine. Maybe no.
No, I found this in the warehouse.
We're cutting it up.
wasn't
Who
yours.
knows?
I
It was
promise.
probably used for just exactly this very thing.
Roger, is a bigger bag with more stuff more powerful? Or does
No, it's really not. It would just be
Okay.
more. Because a lot of times people either carry these around or wear them. Okay, so some people will put them like on a like a necklace or a piece of leather or something, and tie them around them and wear them around their neck.
So is bigger better? And I
Bigger
get asked,
is not better.
not
no,
always. More
no.
is not more
No.
necessarily.
And you'll
Seriously.
see this is
It
pretty
depends on
thin.
if you want to cover a lot.
This is pretty thin. So and I cut it a little big so we could actually fold it down into a smaller section. Because one thing about the Mojo bags, you don't want it to be too big. So I folded this down into fourths. And I tell you what, Matt, let's put it on this camera and we'll set this stuff up on it. And so there we go. So this, I've got it folded down into about an 8x8 square, right? So it works out really nice to do that. So one thing is that some of the better things to use in it, obviously, besides the norm, but cinnamon. Okay, these are some giant cinnamon sticks that I had. Now, obviously, we have smaller cinnamon sticks here in the store too. And honestly, if you have the smaller cinnamon sticks in your kitchen, it's perfectly fine to actually use those. So you'll notice you can put the cinnamon right in with no problem, like that. The other great thing to use in this as an herb is actually cloves. Okay, one thing is with a lot of fiery, like the fiery herbs like cinnamon and cloves, things like that, allspice, are all really good for manifesting money or abundance.
Kind of fast acting.
Yeah, and they're very fast acting too. You don't have to make and I'm actually making these pretty decent size here, you'll notice. Yeah. Okay, so there's your cloves. We had the bay leaves, right? So then we can throw together like a pinch of the bay leaves out and throw it in the bag. Okay.
And that's from your bag that was kind of not the full bay leaves, and that's kind
Right.
of good because you're not messing up one of those full ones that you can write on.
Exactly. Now there's other things too that work really good, cool as herbs. These are the three we're going to use in this one. Pine bundles, pine leaves, pine needles, really. Pine needles work really great. You can actually, with pine, is great to manifest with it, just burning it like sage. And you can, burn it just a little bit at a time. You don't have to burn the entire thing.
It's very good. Pine is also very good for protection, especially in hostile work environments.
Yep.
I was a lady that's a good friend of ours who's comes from it's Hoodoo. She had me, when I was leaving the law firm, still working at the law firm, burn pine. For making money there, because it was my law firm, but I was leaving, right?
You were in process
and
out.
it was sort of not hostile work environment, a difficult work environment. So a pine is really good for that.
Yep. So we have these packs. They're called manifesting herbal blends. Okay, these are a mix. This has a kind of a blend of about 7 different herbs in here.
Smells good.
It smells great. These can be used if you just want to pick one of these up, you just kind of put some of that in a bag. You can also put those in like your candles. If you're making like a bath, what they call a bath tea, you could also put those in the bath tea.
Why do they call it a tea?
Because when you put it in the bath, it looks like tea because it turns to water.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why. Now, crystal-wise, because actually I grabbed some crystals to go into this little bag.
Yay.
Okay, so I bet you a couple of them you probably already kind of know out there. So the first one, obviously, you're going to know, we're going to talk about is citrine. So I've got some citrine crystals. All right, Michelle already kind of talked about those. So there's a citrine, right? And then I got...
Citrine is a feel-good stone because it kind of goes with your solar plexus, the yellow and the orange. The natural color is really more yellow, like this beautiful one here that has the beautiful rainbows. But it's also known as the merchant stone. So if you put it like wherever you work and put that stone there, and I used to tell people to carry it in their wallet, again, maybe Matt setting the intention more for, I would want to have cash because my friends were always like, we'd go out and eat and have to split something. Like, you never have cash. This was like years ago. Now it'd be more to whatever you are carrying in there, like if it's your credit card or whatever. But I did find that when I tape a little citrine in my wallet, I would always seem to have cash because my friends actually really did get irritated with me. Surprise, surprise. The few friends.
All right, so the next crystal we have to go in there is actually pyrite. So here's the pyrite. And that's the fool's gold.
So I always think about that one just a little bit because I think, well, if it's fool's gold, then I would think that's not really working. But that's a really good exercise to do mentally for those of you who like to overthink things. It's like, without looking it up, why would fool's gold be representative? The color and why was it named that? And I've written about that. If you get on the SoulTopia group, you can just search can you search on groups?
Yeah.
Pyrite. And I've written a lot about it and why. But think about it first. We won't have time to got off to discussing it all that, but I think it convinced me. And once I did my own research and why it was called fool's gold, there's a reason, and then it can give you even more specific. You can get more specific. Why do you use pyrite versus maybe citrine?
Yeah.
If you were going to choose.
Right.
Okay.
All right. The next one is
Emeralds. So there's a couple of emeralds to go in there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because emeralds, that's a good money one.
Yep.
All right. Ready?
I
Here's the
am.
last one. Blue topaz.
Oh, tell
So
me.
you got blue topaz, which
Which is great for manifesting abundance also.
I love that.
Yeah.
Blue topaz.
Yeah.
Blue topaz is really pretty. Also, peridot, which
Peridot's
they're
a good
little
one.
tiny ones because they're expensive
Yep.
a lot of times. And also lodestone or hematite because that's magnetic and it'll draw things to you.
That's right.
Lodestone was actually one of the ones actually used when you really just couldn't go to a metaphysical store and people would just find stuff to use. They would use that to draw them.
So
things to you.
now you could also,
It's
because this is for manifesting, right? So you could put in like one of these gold $100 bills. Ooh, gold money right there. However, I had this at home, so I thought this would be kind of fun to put in. It's one of the $2 bills,
Tell them what you do.
you know, with the $2 bills.
What's your hobby?
So
One of your hobbies.
I always, well, I don't know who, but somebody told me this. I was like, why do we always get $2 bills? Because we like literally get $2 bills like all the time. I found out though that there's people that get $2 bills at the bank to tip people with. And so a lot
kind
of
of
the
tips?
servers get tipped with $2 bills. So I always keep the $2 bills. I never take them to the bank. So I had this set at the house. So I thought, you know what? We're going to take this $2 bill and we're going to use this in our spell. Now,
Also rare coins.
Yeah.
Y'all, he loves collecting coins.
so what I do, because this one obviously can't just throw this in here, so we're going to fold this 1, 2, 3 times towards us, because when we're talking about abundance, we're trying to bring this into us, right? So I always want to fold it towards me because I'm bringing it into me, okay? And we're going to toss that
In here with our, with our bag.
Now, what we're going to do is
We're going to pull all the corners up together.
like so, and kind of work all the money, the herbs, everything right down into it, kind of into the center. Yeah, just like that.
Good job.
Okay.
You shake it.
Yep. Kind of shake it, get it down in there really tight. Okay.
You're
Now
so good at doing this.
I have some silver glittery ribbon. I already cut a piece off because I knew I couldn't hold this bag and cut it. So we're going to run this around.
Do you want me to hold it?
I
Help.
think I got it, I think.
Another good thing is I'll show y'all if we have time. I got something in the mail from Carrie Pierce and Teresa Reed, two good friends of mine, and it's an astrology kit. And Carrie always does the charms, so you can actually, when you're tying the ribbon, you could tie a charm on here or some sort of curio that means something to you that represents if you're doing this for money or if it was a bag for something else. I have them down there. Remind me to show the box if for that class, but. A charm. It made me think about putting a charm in there too.
So here's our Griscris bag, Mojo bag. Like I said, this is a little bigger one. Sometimes you'll see people make these smaller because because they'll throw them in their pockets. This is a big, great one to set around like on your desk, cash register, if you're in a shop, anything like that. Now, the one thing too, beyond this is we want to kind of give it a little more life to it. Okay, so sit it here. One thing we can do with that is like
So sit it
essential
here.
oils.
One thing we
Yeah.
So I grabbed some of our cinnamon oil. That would be a really good one, but
You're into the cinnamon.
I like
For
the
sure.
pine needle oil. Remember, we didn't use pine needle in this one because I just talked about it. So what you do is with the pine, you just would take and
Remember, we didn't use
about
pine
over
needle
the
in this
month,
one because I just talked about it.
couple of
So what you
drops
do
right
is
on top
with
of
the
it like that.
pine,
Oh,
you
that kind
just
of freaked me
would
out.
take
See, that's pretty cool, right?
Okay. We
it
didn't really
maybe
have-
about every month.
Because I put it
just
on
give
top,
it
I didn't
a
put it on
couple
the
of
bottom
drops
like
right on
ours
top
are,
of it
so
like
right
that.
on top
See
of
Oh,
it.
that
that?
kind of.
Yeah.
Does
Now,
it have to be a certain kind of fabric,
um,
or do you recommend?
I would no because I've used everything. I would use something. No, it really doesn't.
Just so
Cotton's
mainly stuff doesn't fall out
Yeah,
of it.
so yeah, you want to thicken it up, and that's pretty thin because that's that kind of nylon-y, silky stuff. And so I wanted to make sure I doubled it up so it didn't fall through.
And you can use old
Yeah,
clothes,
you can
like
use
that's
like
what that
old,
was.
yeah, anything, like if you have old T-shirts or even old button-down shirts or anything like that, you can always cut the fabric up out of that.
Repurpose it.
Yeah. Now, if you really wanted to, you can also make your own money oil. Like this is some that we made actually in a class of mine not too long ago.
It's so cute. It's in a little mason jar.
In a little mason jar. Y'all like that? So what's cool about this though, so what I did, because I used olive oil and sunflower oil are actually really good base oils for kind of like everything. Now there's other oils out there you can always use. It's not a big deal.
But is that the carrier oil?
That's the carrier oil. So we have that. And then inside, it actually has cinnamon, cloves, bay leaves. We actually dropped in some little mother of pearls in it. It has a pearl down in the bottom down there. And there's a glittery 4-leaf clover in there too. Kind of cool. Yeah.
Cool.
You can hear, when I shake it, you can hear the little
Yeah.
pearls banging around. So if you do something like this, you can always take it and you can get just a little bit of this out to feed your Grisco's
Smell
Bag
it?
Mojo bag.
Does
And it
smell-
also, I also have,
It's so pretty.
yeah, it
I
has
don't know-
cinnamon in it, cloves in it, but I also added a little bit of essential oils, like I added the clove essential oil and the cinnamon essential oil into it
I can
also.
smell that.
Yeah. Besides just having natural clove and natural cinnamon in it. These are great because you can actually set these around. They look really cool, but these are cool if you were going to go, let's say you were going to go gamble, don't recommend, but if you were to go gamble,
You're actually good at it. You don't recommend I go.
put a little bit on your hands first
And
and don't wash them
ah,
and go gamble, gamble, gamble.
that's a very good.
But I don't recommend it, highly recommend it.
But we're not saying
But if you're going to do it,
green aventurine is known as the gambler's stone.
Yes.
But I have every time I give a disclaimer.
You
don't
can't.
blame me if you don't win.
and
but
you
it
can
is-
add, if you wanted to, like you said, green aventurine would be a great one to add into this, or citrine into this. Anything that the oils won't bother, basically, kind of like water. You wouldn't want to add anything like that into the mix. But if it's some of the like quartz family type crystals, you could definitely add into the mix of this. And like I said, we have a little, you can see it kind of in the bottom, that mother of pearl float down in the very bottom right there. Right there it is. It's moving on me, but it's down there. So that's really cool. You can actually do that as a really fun little,
I can
and
really
we
see
made those-
the
yeah.
shamrock in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, it's on
from here. It's really
that
cute.
side.
Yeah.
yep, on that side, yeah.
Yeah.
Those we made for one of our classes. Yeah,
Yeah.
which was a lot of fun. You want to know, here's a really cool one, Matt.
Sally says, that is so cool, Roger.
Thank you.
He's so good. We have the wand that y'all did in your class.
Mm-hmm.
I have that in my room. And we did, how many years ago? Was that 2 or 3, Matt? Roger, with where you made the Yule log on
Oh,
here.
yeah, that was 2 years ago,
yeah.
the Yule logs.
It's really
Yep.
cool.
So here's all right, so powdered cinnamon. This is what, just regular powdered cinnamon,
The
right?
question of the night is, what is Roger's favorite herb
You gotta have those
for money?
flowery cinnamons.
Yeah.
Yep. So, but the thing is with cinnamon, the powdered cinnamon, you can even grab the one out of your kitchen. Doesn't matter. Take about a good pinch, put it in your hand like so. Okay.
And it won't
See
hurt.
that?
You won't burn your hand?
No.
We already had this discussion. And
We
I'm
already
not
had this
joking.
discussion.
I
She's
really was
like, I'm like,
I'm going to put that in my hand.
you people put it in their body.
It's not gonna burn you.
Don't you remember Glozell when she did the cinnamon
I
challenge?
love Glozell. Did y'all watch Glozell ever on YouTube?
Now I remember
Don't
being
you-
in school though that you would take, what was it, cinnamon chewing gum, and you would lick the wrapper and stick it on somebody, and that would burn you.
Yeah, and those cinnamon toothpicks. Did
Yeah.
you
Oh,
ever
I
make
love
those?
cinnamon
I love.
toothpicks.
We
Yeah.
need to make some of those. I love
Yeah.
those things.
Don't
But
you
I
remember
have-
Glozell when I met Glozell?
When you took Tanner,
When I took Tanner and
To
met
the
Glozell,
YouTube thing
and
in
Glozell was like all over and wrapped up on me.
I was like, Glozell, you're
Yep,
stealing
big
my
green-
man. I
big
mean,
green
she,
lips.
She was.
She had the green
Glozell,
glitter
if y'all
lips.
haven't ever watched Glozell, you
She's
need
awesome.
to follow SoulTopia and share it with everyone.
Yes.
But you also need to look up Glozell.
Glozell.
And we actually traveled and we got married that weekend.
Yeah, that's the weekend we got married. That's right.
In
Long Beach.
by that haunted ship.
In Long Beach.
Go figure.
Yeah.
The St. Mary, right? Queen
Queen
Saint-
Mary.
Queen Mary.
Queen
Saint
Mary.
Mary.
Saint
the
Queen
Queen
Mary?
Saint.
Queen Mary.
Obviously, I am
Queen
not
Mary.
with it today.
Yeah.
All right. So
All
what
right,
do you do
so
with that
if you
cinnamon?
do just the
Don't blow that in
cinnamon,
my face.
all right, just cinnamon powder, okay? Set your intentions that money's flowing to me for the month. This is the one that you would actually do on the very first day of the month.
What if you
Today's
miss
the
it?
5th. Then
Okay, you have to wait.
You gotta wait.
you gotta wait. First day of the month is what this is for. You stand on the outside of your house, open the door, and just blow it
If you're on
to
outside.
the inside of your house. Y'all like that?
No, I'm kidding. Yes, you put it, Matt. I'm glad it went
Matt,
over there.
It went that way.
It went
Well,
that way.
I think now.
So
I do smell
yes.
it though. That smells very good.
See, it wasn't that
Money
much
is
cinnamon. It was just a
flowing
good. It was just a really. It was just
abundantly.
I got it all over me too, though.
Later, he's going to say, my hand itches.
Oh, and I'm itchy.
Now, do you wash your hands after this one?
Heck no, I'm gonna rub it in myself. Rub it on myself for good luck.
So, but you said to use something when you gamble. But
Yeah.
don't wash your hands. Would you wash your hands after doing this? I'm
Well,
being
this
very
one's fine.
serious.
I mean,
Okay.
it's just cinnamon. You know, it's not like, it's not like the worst thing in the world. It's not gonna hurt you. No, it's not
Okay.
gonna hurt you.
All right. Unless
Oh,
you're allergic to it.
Yeah, unless
And
you're
then
allergic
just
to it. And obviously
blame
Michelle's allergic to cinnamon for whatever reason.
No, I like cinnamon. I just am a little.
I mean, if we had some toast, some butter, some sugar,
Yeah,
and the
no.
Oh, I'm
cinnamon,
all
I'd
about
be
that.
all in.
I'm there
now.
for it.
Yeah.
For 100%. But
Actually,
for,
I think that's what I'll have for breakfast in the morning.
Yeah, and I can have some, and we're going to do some of those cinnamon sticks, and those can be abundance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
fiery hot ones.
Fiery hot cinnamon sticks.
Yeah.
I think
Love
we
those
could, can we order those from Domino's or Pizza Hut? One of the two has them.
No, I'm talking about toothpicks.
Oh, that's,
We used to put them on the pan
I
and
know.
put them
Domino's
in the
cinnamon
oven.
sticks.
you still buy. You can buy them already made too, or you just dip them in this oil right here.
That's one thing I
Oh
can
wait,
actually
yeah,
make.
that one you can make.
Cinnamon sticks. That's the one thing I'd go into the kitchen for.
Cinnamon
to make
toothpicks?
cinnamon toothpicks,
Yeah.
yes.
Hey, do you know it's Matt Oren's birthday? Happy birthday, Matt!
Happy birthday, Matt.
Since he's watching us while it's his birthday.
Aw. And it's his birthday. It is. He's a Pisces through and through. And we know it. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
So, that was good, Roger.
Yeah. Cool.
I'd be kind of cutting off the top of that a little bit because it's a
You
little
could.
big.
You could. It is. It is. And you could trim it down.
With no problem. Got oil on the table.
But yeah, you could trim that up if you wanted to cut this back a little bit. But if you think about it, I mean, it just fluffs out because this fabric's so thin. It's not really that big.
So, since gray was the third most used, so it was green, yellow, then gray. Yellow was at 18% of banknotes, and I remember this. And gray was at 14%.
Okay.
Green was 23%. What do y'all think is the most representative animal group
Already
on
know the
currency? You guessed wrong. He
I
guessed
guessed
bear.
wrong the first time. I was trying
Anybody?
to throw the oddball one
I
out.
would think birds, right?
Ding, ding, ding.
Okay.
That's right. So eagle, of course, and then and the second is horse. I found that very interesting.
Yeah.
Queen Elizabeth II, I think, is depicted on the most currency, but I'm not 100%
Oh,
sure.
I thought you were going to say she's a horse.
Well, I was kind of just, yeah. So the color green is the dominant color. A male figure is the dominant. 93% of all people featured are male, go figure. A politician is 39% of people depicted, of the political, of people
Pretty much
depicted.
all of our. That's all of our
39%
money, basically.
Yeah.
Are
That's
politicians.
interesting. I would have thought it would have been more,
Yeah.
but I guess they don't always do that.
An
in
eagle, 25% of all animals featured were a bird, and
Wait, an
46%
eagle?
of
Isn't an
those
eagle
were
a
eagles.
bird?
Well, and 40%
Oh,
were
okay.
eagles. So in the category,
Gotcha.
and then I was going to say a cattle. No, it's a castle. Make that bigger. 12% of all the buildings depicted on banknotes. So this is the UK. I gave you all the website. Is it's a castle. Second would be a monument. Interesting, huh? Am I the only nerdy one that thinks?
I wonder why eagles. I mean, is that like?
I will look.
Is the U.S. a big reason why eagles are heavily represented?
I think that's a yes. Birds, more specifically eagles, were the most popular, appearing on 41%. I don't know that they
They don't explain where it came from.
they might have. I didn't. Yeah, I'm thinking that's why. But they have a picture of it, and this is not American money. This is
This is
global.
all global, right?
It's global. So, and they don't give a credit for where this money's from. I guess you're supposed to be smart enough to know. But it's an eagle, and then above it, they have this dude, and I'm not sure who he is either. And it's green.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay. So, but I am not the one for the cash situation because for one thing, I was robbed, targeted. I've talked about it in the Czech Republic in Prague on the last day. And I swore I had my money right in front of my bag. And we've already said that no,
So we already
every
proved that
picture, I forgot that there is evidence. It's called photos and Instagram. And my money was like around my back and everywhere. So, here comes the blind, not paying attention. But the money, I couldn't figure it out because you did the euro, but when you went to the Czech Republic, it was like, so the whole time, I will say this, I tie like life experiences into your manifestation. I really didn't do well with my money in the Czech Republic because I did in the other areas, but in the Czech Republic, I never knew for the days we were there how to convert it or what to do. And
Didn't you use euros there?
no, it's a different it's different money.
Really? Huh.
Yes, 100%. I am confident that what was stolen, besides the $300 U.S. cash that was in my thing, was Czech money, and I have no idea how much it was. I think I just never got it, and I sort of said, here, I'll get the next one, and if somebody had cash, but that was the one time I broke out the money, didn't know what I was doing, and they look for that, because it's organized crime over there.
Right.
They warn you.
Right. They're trying to find this person that's lost.
Yeah, the gullible, weak loser.
There she is.
There she is. She's trying to figure. I'm like, I'm not sure this money's right. And then it's all gone.
Well, and I mean, and that's a good corollary to all of this is that none of this stuff will be useful if you're not smart with your money once you get it.
Yeah.
Or if you don't try something. I mean, I'm always reminded of the old joke of the guy who prays that he wins the lottery, and God finally says, "Well, you got to buy a lottery ticket first."
Yeah.
Because you kept praying. So like all of this stuff is you got to do something along with the
Got to be some
manifestation.
action
Yeah.
involved.
And
into
that's
it.
what Matt, Matt and Matt Orwin, Matt was talking about last week too, right?
Yep.
That's the inspired
Gotta
action.
have action.
Action in the word attraction. Law of
That's right.
attraction. You can't just sit there.
That's right.
And
Got to
hope.
get off your ass
Wait
and
for
do
it.
something.
I guess it could fall out of the sky, but it's very unlikely.
It could if you
Could
watch the movie.
well-
That movie, y'all, it is what is it? Benedict. Oh, I love that guy. What's his name? Benedict
Dick
Cumberbatch.
Cumberbatch?
Oh yeah, he's
I
like
don't know
such
the
a good
movie you're talking
actor. Okay, so I'll look it up. It's on Netflix. I've been a little sick, so I've been in my house for a while, and it's a story about the guy that played Gandhi. I can't think of any of these people's names.
The actor that
Ben
played
something.
Ben Kingsley.
He's in it, and it's a story about a guy. He finds this book, and then he makes all this money, and at the end he throws it out the window.
Sounds fascinating.
It is actually a
Okay.
really good movie. I just can't remember the name of it.
Wouldn't it be a better movie if it was those kids who found all that cocaine washed up on the beach in Florida and got
That
all
was a
that money?
bear.
Well, no, that's a different story altogether too.
What the
They
kids?
did make that movie too.
I'm confused, but I'm.
Well, the boats and they're bringing that cocaine into Miami. They get raided. They have to do something with it, so they drop it over the edge.
I didn't hear
and
about
then all
that,
of a sudden
but I
they-
don't watch the
I didn't hear
news.
about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When
And
did-
then you got the sharks eating cocaine down there now.
Then,
Or
they're
wait,
just-
is it shark? Is it cocaine or meth?
Oh,
I can't remember. If it's
feel like that
meth
needs-
sharks or cocaine sharks.
so we had
think it's cocaine sharks.
bear.
And now we need meth shark.
Now we're gonna have meth sharks. Is
Yeah.
the sequel?
I hope so.
That's
Y'all
sad.
said y'all didn't like Cocaine Bear, but I mean, come on now.
Cocaine bear. Now we're gonna
Obviously,
have meth
y'all
sharks.
weren't in the space of having fun.
I want to just say a little plug for those who like good films.
Cocaine Bear's the best.
Not Cocaine Bear. Look up the
Look
one
at the soundtrack.
I don't know the name of that has Benedict and I can't say his last
All right,
name.
I will try
Well,
to
And
figure
you
this
Ben
know what?
Kingsley, because it was actually a very good movie. I was pleasantly
I'm gonna
surprised.
burst a bubble on this one. Obviously, it's not as good as Cocaine Bear because you can remember the name of Cocaine Bear and the whole movie of Cocaine Bear, and this one you don't even know the name of it.
It's true.
So
It's
come
true.
on now.
That's true. We got 3 minutes. You want to talk about the thing of the week, the items of the week.
Sure, items of the week. We can talk about that. Well, actually, here you go. I've actually typed in the question of the week too. So I typed it in, ready to send it. Question of the week, answer. So if you're not watching live, you're watching after, Memorex, whatever.
You know what I've started doing on the Instagram lives?
What?
Saying something really controversial right in the middle of it.
To
And
see if
then
they
I know
what?
who people watch. Matt,
Oh.
have you know? Or do you just watch
No.
the first minute?
I thought you
Because-
actually
No, I'll
just always
throw
did that.
something in there. Not super controversial where 100%
Well, let's don't do
get
that.
canceled or anything. No, it's not like mean, but it's like, I have weird opinions, right? They need cocaine bear, Sharknado, crossover.
Oh yeah.
Sharknado.
Okay,
right?
Sharknado.
I said not
If you
her.
haven't seen Sharknado, you got to watch that because then you're like, what the hell's happening here? And it's like it's not just one. They just keep going and going and going.
What happened?
Isn't there like 5 or 6 of those now?
I have not
Yeah.
watched one of those.
You
I
haven't?
am missing out. Thank
You're
you.
missing. You're so missing out.
But I watched that movie. I can't
Maybe that's what we
remember
need to
the
do.
name of
You know what? Maybe at Reader Studio one night we do one of these movie nights, after hour movie nights,
We'll do
and
it.
watch
We'll-
Sharknado.
We'll run it, trial run
Yeah.
it here at SoulTopia.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So, question of the week. Winner, you can answer all week long. We'll go through. We'll pull and announce next week. Winner's going to win the Mojo bag that we created.
Are you going to cut that? all that
No, they
fluff
can
off?
cut it themselves if they want to cut it because I kind of like
it's
it.
really wonderful, but it's a little. We had square.
That's right,
here's-
Emily. It's so cheesy. It's great.
I had it all cut ahead of time, and I couldn't find it because we used to make these at Bishop
Yeah.
Arts.
I
And
think
it was
it's in the
actually Carrie
warehouse.
Pierce's idea.
It's
and
in
she said,
it's in that glitter box.
but we got so busy they couldn't make it because there were people
Mm-hmm.
coming in and they'd be trying to make it. I want this herb, that herb. So we used to measure out the herbs when you were there,
All right.
and then right.
Yep. Now
We don't
that's
have
when
time.
we used to measure them, and we'd have like 20 people in line waiting.
Yeah. All right.
So the question of the week is, what is Roger's favorite herb of the week? Michelle said it because she was joking about it. That's going to be our question anyway. So all you got to do is
I can still
list
smell
it.
it in here.
You can still
Can you,
smell it
Matt?
in here.
It smells good in here.
Yeah.
It
These
does.
guys stink. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
So,
I'm totally
Yes.
kidding.
and if you want us to trim this up before we send it to you, I'll be happy to trim it up if you just want just the bag part, not the top.
Yeah.
Not a problem. Just got to let me know. But the
It's worth at least $2.
abundance. Yeah, it's got a $2 bill in it.
And it's got that
But it's got
great
all
Roger
types of energy in it.
doing it
That's
on
right.
Soul what
Something you'll
TV
remember forever.
Live. All right.
That's right.
Right.
And see, they were watching and they listened and they know they're answering
ready.
like
They were ready.
crazy.
You
Just
want to
keep
talk about the
going.
things that the
Sure, go for it.
So I love jet.
One of the things you learn in my crystal classes is
a way
to know which jet is. It's super lightweight. I mean, you pick it up and you think, this isn't jet. Jet is great for bringing. It is a
stone, but it also is a stone for money. Specifically, those of you who, and I used to have a stock club. I was the president. This is my stock club, and it's great for investing. So it doesn't have to be stocks, but any investments that you make, jet is great for that.
Yeah.
And the history of jet is incredibly interesting with Queen Victoria, it being stone of mourning, and it was worn in jewelry a lot. And it's really great because it's lightweight. I can talk about that forever.
Mm-hmm.
It's not actually a crystal, it's amorphous, but we call it a crystal. Okay, so then we have the sun bracelet. Is that what it is?
Is that what it is?
Yep.
So our
Sun
tarot
bracelet.
bracelet.
That's actually great with the.
It looks like
It looks like it has the
red goldstone,
which to me
always
looks orange.
and it maybe has
tiger's eye and what else?
Bloodstone
Yeah, and some
and citrine.
and citrine. So it's great for also abundance too. The sun in tarot is success. It's a very good card,
Yep.
right? And then you can talk about the
And the
Incense.
incense of the week is the
Satya
Satya
pyramid
incense.
incense.
That is a great one.
Those are actually buy one get one free this week.
The crystals are buy one get one free, and the
and
bracelet is 25% off.
those are some nice
Yep.
jet. And if you've never compared the weight of jet to another black stone, it's one of the easiest ones
Mm-hmm.
to figure out. And everybody thinks the black ones are hardest to learn. What color do you think's actually hardest to learn
Red,
for
pink,
crystals?
green, yellow, white.
I have no idea.
Green.
Green.
My classes that I've taught, the hardest time of distinguishing things is green.
Well, you have green aventurine and green agate look very, very similar too.
Just very, you look for those little things, and you learn that in my classes, how to know the difference. Okay, so those, and I did bring a couple bracelets just to show, because there are bestsellers, and I'm a little shaky. Was at the doctor for a long while today, right, Roger?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to let you hold it.
Okay.
Epido, to me, any manifestation that you start, anytime you start with anything, I don't care if it's love or you're manifesting, it doesn't have to just be money, but that one's soul worth, and that actually came from, I did 3 of those from my Magic of Connection book, I believe I came up with. And then this one is from the soul, like, healing line. This one is the green aventurine, and it's called Soul Good Fortune. We told y'all it's known as the gambler's stone, or the stone of, like, good luck. So it's just green aventurine with a little gold. That's what we put on all of those, that line, that healing line. Our most popular bracelet, period, is this bracelet for years, because it's so abundantia, the goddess, and it has all the stones on there. Not all, but a lot of them. Everything we just did and talked about, you can wear it on this bracelet. It is a crystal grid on your arm.
That's right.
And then one more that you did. This is like the ones, the green related quartz for success. I don't know what he wrote on there, but
Success, courage, and protection.
and it's beautiful. And just so you know,
those.
you can, those are a higher quality, so they cost just a tiny bit more, but you can go into Neiman Marcus, and John Hardy basically has been selling that stuff for thousands of dollars in Neiman's, and so we just kind of go in there and laugh, because how much is that?
Those
29,
33.
33, the
33
higher
of
grade,
those.
and the rest of them are $24.90.
$24.95. Yeah, pretty much all of our bracelets range from $24.95 to $37.95.
And they've always sold.
Yep,
We don't have trouble selling them.
not at all.
Very-
And the majority of them are the 24. There's only like maybe a dozen of them that's higher.
Mary says it's a great one. We know, Mary, I know your favorite crystal is green aventurine. So, you want to tell them what you have coming up?
So
we're
this
coming.
Saturday we have Michelle's crystals for manifestation and abundance. That's a crystal class on crystals to use for manifesting, right?
Right, and that class, if anybody who does sign up for that, will partially go to the certificate, because it does come out of, and we can talk about that individually if you are going for the. We usually do certificates of completion. I do certify in crystal healing, and I've done it for years. I just don't talk about it a lot. A lot of people who've watched this have taken that class, and taken even the more advanced classes. And then here I'll show y'all what.
And then the next Saturday I'm having your class is from 2 to 4, right?
I have no idea.
I think it's 2 to 4. You can actually go to soultopia.simpletix.com and see all of our tickets. And then the following Saturday at 4:30 to 6:30, I'll be doing my candle magic class, and we'll be doing candles around money, manifestation, and success.
Yeah, and your class is just always it's as many people as we can fit back there usually, with
Exactly.
comfortably, not
Yep.
as many as we can.
Yep.
Before I'll let you hold this up. This is
Oh,
it's a class actually.
Good grief.
That Teresa Reed and Carrie Paris are doing. That's 2 people that I look up to very much in this business, who've been in the business a long time. Saying in the business, but I mean, I met through actually both of them at Reader Studio, and we have Reader Studio coming up. With it, I got in the mail Teresa's book, and I think we sell this one
We do.
anyway, but I got this in the mail too. And then, of
Did they autograph
course, Charms.
it. What's up with her?
Charms
I'm gonna call
from
her.
Carrie for the charm casting. So I don't know about. I think I signed up for a class, and that's why I got all this. So anyway, because I admire both of them quite a bit. So
Okay.
I feel like there was one other. Oh, did you say who won the bracelet or the whatever you're giving away last week? Since we're out of time, just say it fast.
No.
Okay, we'll announce them both next time.
We'll announce both
Yeah.
next week.
Also, see Rich, I see you commenting over on YouTube to answer the question. Leave your comment there. That's fine. We'll find you and add you to the drawing.
Yes.
That's
Perfectly
right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll be
it's fine.
fine.
Either the SoulTopia YouTube page or SoulTopia Facebook.
That's
you can
right.
comment on either.
Yeah.
Just put a comment in. Tell us what herb it was of the week that we like.
and share it and like it. And thank you for all of you who've come back and joined us. So we were talking today about, we did take a long break, and we did have a good reason. It was honestly, Meta just effed us over.
Yeah.
So I won't end on that, but we did. And so we're building back the audience. And we thank Matt for his patience on that and everyone. But I was talking about it today, and it was a time where, we kind of had to manifest that out of that situation because it was, And that was the news that you could have shared. Facebook crashed, you told me.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Instagram.
Facebook crashed.
that was
I had
down
no
today.
clue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was totally crashed out. Facebook, Facebook Messenger, and Instagram.
Well, if you listen to my friend Crystal,
I was like,
who's
where
at
the
PR,
hell? But I did not
Tuesdays
log
and
out.
Thursdays.
Did
The
not
busiest days. She said you must post on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
I think it was aliens attacking us.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
And they were trying to hold off because they knew couldn't get the message out fast enough on TikTok.
Yep.
You lost me at the aliens. I have no idea. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Yes, thanks, guys. And hope everybody has a great weekend, a great week, and be safe. And come see us soon. We'll see y'all next week. Peace out, guys. Bye.